Hey, and welcome back to the Poultry Keepers Podcast, where we help good folks like you raise better birds and build better flocks, one practical episode at a time. Today, we're diving into part 2 of our summer survival series, Beat the Heat, Proven Ways to Prevent Heat Stress in Your Birds. Now, if you caught part 1, you already know we're not just talking about the weather. We're talking about protecting your birds when the mercury starts climbing and the breeze stops blowing. In this episode, we're picking up where we left off with Jeff Mattocks and Carey Blackmon, two men who know their way around both feed buckets and hot barns. We'll be talking about how to manage airflow inside the coop, what happens when your birds eat too many summer treats, and how little things like water temperature and pH can make a big difference. You'll also hear some strong opinions about apple cider vinegar, honest talk about feed quality, and creative ways to keep your birds cool without breaking the bank. So whether you've got show birds, backyard layers, or a full-on breeding program, this episode is full of ideas you can put to work right now to help your flock beat the heat.
I've got thousands and thousands of chickens, and a lot of them are getting it year-round, not just during the summer, right? We've seen increased feed efficiency, 5 to 7%. The demeanor of the bird becomes calmer, more relaxed. The commercial industry knows that you want the gut, the pH of a chicken's gut to be slightly acidic, right? They're trying to, depends on which article you read. Some are driving it down all the way to 4 pH, which is really low, but between 5.5, 6 is where they're happy. So the commercial industry is pumping citric acid, right, into their chicken water all the time.
Yep.
And so I have no idea where that's coming from. I don't know where that thought, or anyway.
I've entertained it a couple of times, and I've asked them, I'm like, okay, you state that claim and it contradicts what I said. Can you please show me like the research? What is that based off of? And the lady said, I've had chickens for 30 years and that's great. Have you ever actually taken notes and checked it out, measured the stuff? Anyway, I'm just curious.
Yeah. And adding vinegar to livestock and poultry water been done longer than I've been alive. Okay. So this is not here. And when I get this question by individuals, I'm like, okay, do this, put a waterer out with just plain water or whatever you want to put in it. Okay. And put a waterer out with the vinegar in it and let the chickens tell you, see which one gets empty first. Let the chickens choose. You didn't force them into drinking it, right? You didn't deprive them of fresh, clean water. The chickens will tell you what they want, and it's not going to take long till you figure out that they prefer the one with vinegar. Now, is it stimulating them at another level that we're not aware of? I don't know. But I've been doing it for years, and I've been recommending it and doing it for years. Anyway, you know what? You look around the internet long enough, you can find something that'll tell you exactly what you want to hear, or something that'll scare you to death. So
Either way. So let's talk more about the importance of air movement, especially in coops. I've seen people talk about how they can't get their birds in their coop at night. What's the temperature inside there? It's been baking all day. Do you have air movement? What's the importance of air movement, especially this time of year in the coop?
There's a lot of coops that really deprive air movement. Not enough windows. Yeah. So I don't blame them either, right? When I was a kid, we didn't have air conditioning. I'd rather sleep outside in a tent than I would just sleep in my bedroom, right? It's no different. And so if your coop is not well ventilated and good air transfer, you got other issues anyway, because now you got bad air in the coop. Those coops need to be ventilated, right? And they need to be well ventilated.
What about frozen? I see people talk about cantaloupes. I see them talk about watermelon, whether it be frozen or cold and putting it out in the runs. What about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I did the same thing with mine. Here's the thing is if you overdo like vegetables, fruit, those types of scraps or treats or whatever you want to call them, your egg whites and your eggs in general will become very runny because you've increased the amount of moisture intake, but you've diluted the amount of feed that they ate and the amount of protein that they ate. So I had chickens in the backyard, man. I'm like everybody else. I give them a half a watermelon. A day or so later, you crack one of those eggs and it ran all the way across the pan. Before I did the watermelon, it stood there in a nice circle and stood up tall and had really firm whites and really good yolk. It's going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not telling you not to do it, and you're not really going to hurt your chicken, but the eggs are going to change. The quality of the egg will change. So just know that. Don't freak out. Don't give them Corid. Don't give them medications. You did it, right?
Yeah.
I tell everybody don't exceed more than 10% supplementation with vegetable waste or like watermelon and cantaloupe. That's really a small amount, right? If you think about, okay, your chicken should be eating about 3 to 4 ounces of feed a day.
Yeah.
10% of that is about a half an ounce.
Yeah.
So it's not much. And
See, what we do is my wife, she'll take a watermelon and cut the part that we eat out and leave the rind and with a little bit of meat on it. And she'll cut it into strips or chunks or whatever. And I'll have a huge bowl of that, and I'll throw a couple of them in each of the pens just for that reason. Also, a lot of times people wanting to give their birds extra treats that are high in protein this time of year. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't, yeah. Treats are treats, and people tend to get carried away, right? Look,
Yeah.
I got pets as well. And I am guilty, or I have in the past been guilty of giving my pets too many treats. And one, they become dependent on them and they expect them. Like they won't even eat their feed or until you show up with the mealworms or whatever your treat's going to be. Or so treat is supposed to be something occasional. So just be careful how much you're treating them. Worms are really not that much higher in protein. Neither are black soldier fly larvae and some of these other treats. So you are throwing things off a little bit. Look, you have to be honest with yourself. Okay, why are you keeping chickens? If your chickens are a pet, give them all the treats you want. You're not going to hurt them. Do what you got to do. If you're keeping chickens to be a professional breeder or exhibition bird, you're going to throw things off. If you have a truly properly balanced diet, all you're doing is messing that up. If you want to give them a treat, why don't you give them some alfalfa hay, hang it in the bag, let them chase it around. You want to have some fun with them and you want to give them a treat, put a few live minnows in their drinker and let them chase those around, and they'll love them. But there's no need to. We start treating them like our kids or our family, and for some people they are. I'm not stepping on toes, but you have to make that conscious decision of what is the purpose of your chickens in your system, right? So if they're pets, then treat them like pets. If they're breeders or show, man, don't be doing that.
People
Throw things off.
people say to me, they're like, well, but I want this, but is the bird for show? Do you want the bird? Is this something that you put on display, or is it a pet? What are you talking about? Let's look at this. Do you think an Olympic athlete varies from their diet far? Probably not. Just like supermodels, people that go on the runway. Do you think they vary from their diet? Probably not. They probably follow a very strict regimen. Keep that in mind when you're giving those. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some emergency heat stress response ideas.
We would like to take a short break to express our appreciation to the Fertrell Company for their sponsorship of the Poultry Keepers 360 Live programming. Portrell has been a trusted name in sustainable farming and poultry nutrition for decades, and their commitment to providing high-quality, natural product align perfectly with the values we hold dear in our poultry community. Thank you, Portrell, for partnering with us to empower poultry keepers everywhere. We're truly grateful for your dedication and support.
Those birds didn't look miserable at all.
No, but they were in the shade.
That they were.
Yeah.
Like John says, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Tell people with pet chickens that if they eat those chickens, they can love them twice.
Oh, geez.
That is a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got another one. What can be used to clean the water cups? I have well water that builds up in the cups.
That's not, I'm guessing he's got harder water. I don't know if he's got iron, high iron, or if he's got calcium. Depends on what color the residue is. Of course, iron will be rusty red and calcium will be white and manganese will be black. So it just depends on what's in there. There's no good answer, Dan, other than pulling the cups and just scrubbing them like crazy.
So one of the things that I've done that has made a huge difference for me is everybody knows that I was using a filter on my hose pipe for my waters. That was just a regular water filter. They also make them that are for mineral filters, specifically for people that are on wells. And since doing that, I have had even less problems in my water lines. I'm not getting any of that anymore because even though I'm on city water, I was still having a lot of the white buildup in some of my waterers.
Yeah, unless you can figure out a way to soften the water somehow, it's going to be, it just depends on the hardness for you and Dan. It depends on that total hardness of the water.
Let's see. What about, did you do like maybe use some bowls or something like that? Put some cool water in that for them to get in? Will chickens walk around in water like that?
They will. There's some people that'll use something like a kiddie pool. And I saw one lady was taking like the low height Rubbermaid containers and freezing like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of ice. She would even put the cantaloupe and the watermelon in there as a frozen treat and they could work their way to it. So by the time it melted, they also had something to eat. But
that'd be cool.
I saw pictures of the chickens just standing on top of that ice block as it was melting and they were cooling off their feet. Yeah, that's the thing. And they will walk in cool water, right? Once they figure it out. Okay. First time you ever do something for chickens, they're like, wait, this isn't normal. This isn't right. And
what is it? It's different.
Yeah. You got to give them time to figure it out.
All right. Let's see. Avoiding cold shock.
You mean like serving them too cold of water?
Yeah. That was one of the things that was mentioned in the topic.
I've never seen it happen. They just won't drink it. But again, you're leading to dehydration because if it's too cold, they won't drink it. Even here in our winters, if that water wasn't above 45 or 50 degrees, there was a significant reduction in water intake.
Yeah.
And of course, then that reduces feed intake and that reduces the number of eggs laid and it's the trickle down effect.
It's a snowball effect from there.
Yeah. They'll drink it at 50, 550. They don't like it as much. Like I said, 65 to 80, somewhere in there. And it is really good water temperature for them. That's where they're going to be happier.
Yeah. All right. If your pH and alkalinity is high in my water, reset the water after adding apple cider vinegar, drop it to 7 and the alkalinity between 0 and 40.
Good.
Hey, that sounds really good.
And those pH test strips they're not that expensive. You can buy them, I don't know, 20 or 50 or whatever in a little tube, right? And as long as you keep them in a good storage place. They're good for years. So you can check your own pH.
So I actually buy them personally at about 100 a time. That's what's in the little black. It's a little black container. It's about 3 inches long. It's got the chemical reaction strip, and on the outside's a sticker. You match the color to know your pH.
Yep.
But I want to say it's like $12-13 on Amazon for 100 of them.
They're not expensive.
Because every once in a while I do check the pH of mine as well. Rob says that you can use the nipples and then you won't have to clean anything.
I'm really glad you put that up because I'm going to challenge you, Rob. Okay. Do a flush and a clean out of that nipple line where the water's being held before it comes out of the nipple. And because I've seen nipple lines cleaned in commercial houses and they are grungy, dirty, nasty, not good at all. So the line going to the nipples, the PVC that holds the nipples, definitely, if yours are nipples in a line, yeah, you need to flush that line probably quarterly. I would say every 90 days or more, minimum every 90 days. There's some really nasty stuff. And in the commercial houses, they use some really strong, like chlorhexidine combinations to flush those. Yeah.
Dang.
And they'll do it more than once. They'll do it, they wait, they'll fill the line with that solution. They'll let it set for 24 hours. They'll flush that out. They'll redo it, and
So they just put in some temporary waters when they do it?
no, they do this when there's no birds in the house, but between birds.
So when they're flipping the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't do it with birds in the
I was
house.
thinking to say, how the crap do they do that with them in there?
If they do it with the birds in the house, if they feel the need to do that while the birds are in the house, they'll raise the lines up so the birds can't access the nipples. Like they'll do one line at a time and
Got it.
they can do a flush, but the bird can't actually drink that water until they've flushed it multiple times to get fresh water back into it. Yeah, because this stuff will kill them. So it's nasty.
Let's see. He said he uses cups and he has a drain plug at the end of the line to clean it out once a week, or even when it's hot, cleans it out every other day.
That's John. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Open that valve up and just let it all out. Do that.
I wonder, is Rob on city water? It may already be chlorinated, and that may be
the difference for him.
the difference for him.
And I can say that since I started running mine through filters, I've seen a lot less problem. He said it's city water. His is city water.
Okay. Yeah. So it's already being treated to some degree, and he may have good city water compared to a lot of people. You know, aren't you on city water, Carey?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't call yours good city water.
My city water, straight out of the kitchen sink, if you smell it, you won't drink it.
Yeah. And I've seen other people, same situation. Yeah. I don't know even how the municipality can consider it safe to drink. They put enough chlorine in it and it's bacteria free.
And they send you out that good old test report every quarter to disclose everything that's in it if you can read it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't drink it. If we have no bottled water, we'll use water that's filtered through the refrigerator. There's a filter on the line behind the refrigerator, and there's a filter inside the refrigerator. Sue says she was on the fence about apple cider vinegar. Used it last week. Huge positive change.
If I can get more water into them because there's apple cider vinegar in that water, that's a win. Okay. The more water I can get into them this time of year, I'm happy. So like I said, try it, see what you think. I ain't trying to sell you a used car here, and I ain't making a nickel off of telling you to use it. So
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? We got a few minutes left.
I had a question about lime you skipped over.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got it.
What's the difference between non-slip barn lime and plain barn lime?
The particle size. So what they do for the non-slip lime is they run it across the screen and they keep everything that's similar to a sand-like particle So when the livestock walk on it, it actually acts as traction. And even when it gets wet, it doesn't get slippery. Whereas the pulverized lime, when it gets wet, it gets really slippery. So it's
especially on
basically
concrete.
Yeah, it's just basically particle size, the grittiness, and the texture.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah, heat stress is real, folks. So we just need to make sure we're doing the best we can to try and
The
keep
high
it cool.
content of fluoride bad for the chickens?
That's like talking politics and religion, and I'm not going to touch that one, John. You do your own research, but
Yeah.
me personally, I don't have fluoridated water. Okay, there's no fluoride in my water. I've been on a well for I don't know how long, and
Still alive.
Yep.
Yeah, you can use it under pine shavings.
Yeah.
Rob says that the 50-gallon barrel that he used came from the Coca-Cola bottling factory. Smelled like Dr. Pepper for the first. Man, that's an awesome smell.
Man, I want to be a chicken at Rob's place.
Man.
Give me Dr. Pepper water, man. Come on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 2x4 horse panel section attached to the side of the coop, 55-gallon plastic barrel. On the outside of the coop, cut off, 10-gallon mark, garden hose, notch, freeze miser in the winter.
Garden hose with a nozzle cracked.
Yeah.
Keep it topped off. And they add a freeze miser in the winter.
And I use a lot of float valves in my buckets, and they have a Y adapter. So going into the float valve is a Y adapter. And I use those freeze misers. I figured out why they can get away with charging what they do for them, because they're worth it. You replace a water line in your chicken yard in the middle of winter, and you'll get them to you. You guys are awesome. Look forward to seeing you at Apple. Mine helped me with Bud. He wanted to watch you guys while I'm killing myself in the heat in the kitchen from canning. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
We try to help y'all with Bud, but we all love him. You can only do so much. Let's see here. Rob says, mine uses a pipe heater on the PVC pipe off the barrel with nipples. Works great. That does work great. I have also, what we were talking about earlier when Jeff was telling y'all about what I'm going to do with the flowing water is I'm going to use an aquarium heater. I have a friend of mine that lives in Wisconsin, and she has quail. She uses a 4-inch water pipe beside her on the end of her quail water cages and has the nipples in them. And in the wintertime with snow stacked up against that thing, that water hasn't frozen. And all she has in it is a aquarium heater that she puts all the way down at the bottom of it. Hot air rises. She doesn't have any problem. So,
look, I built a wooden box out of 1x8 and I used the old fashioned 5-gallon white and red fountain drinker. I had one group of chickens. I didn't have multiple pens. So I put an electrical box, a light socket, and an incandescent bulb under there. And I drilled a hole, ran a cord, plugged it in. Here's the thing. At 9:00 at night, when I was going to bed, I could look out the window. And if I saw this pink glow in the chicken yard, I knew the next morning my chicken's water would not be frozen. Okay.
yeah.
Look, it was simple. I lined the box with that foil-sided insulation board, 1-inch thick insulation board, foiled. And I just made the box so that drinker would sit on the edges, and it worked great. I was happy.
That makes sense. I've also seen another thing people would do with getting a light socket in the outdoor type housing, put in the incandescent bulb, put a concrete block on top of it, and set the bucket on top of that. However you do it. There's a lot of different ways.
The 8-inch wooden box got it up to the right height so they didn't waste as much water. And like I said, that nice pink glow at 9 at night, right before I go to bed, I could look out my bedroom window. I could sleep with confidence that I wasn't going to have frozen water in the morning.
The only issue with using an incandescent bulb these days is they're getting harder and harder.
Yeah, I hope they come back. I really hope they come back. But yeah, I hear you.
Do we have any other question? Let's see here. Bird bath heater in the bucket and works in Wisconsin. That's good. I have seen a couple people doing that as well.
Yep.
Yeah, anything like that'll work.
Whatever works for you. There's not a one size fits all perfect situation for you need to adapt to your environment and make it work.
Yep. The same in the summertime, same in the winter. We're from all over on this show, and
All
you
over.
got to figure out what works. We were actually looking at the dynamics a while back, and literally all over the world. All right. With that, we will say good night.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Poultry Keepers Podcast. Be sure to join us for a brand new topic next Tuesday. Until then, keep learning, keep improving, and keep enjoying the birds you love.